And Chris, we'll start off with a really, really important aspect of our social development, you know, that hasn't been, you know, a lot of attention hasn't been paid to.
That is sanitation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we are going to be going to the Odaw River and check out what is happening there. But before we do that, we actually have Kweku David, who had visited there earlier this month, and he's going to tell us his experience and, you know, everything he thinks about the place. And also, I think he has some pictures to show us because he went there on a photo documentary
For the uninitiated,
mission.
Kweku David is arguably one of the countries, right, foremost.
Yeah.
You know,
who can
make it's a matter of record.
Well,
One of my very good friends work with him, so
I love photography. So yes,
yeah.
So yes, I did embark on a journey looking at the river. You know, the course of the river. Now, just a bit of a background. So the Odaw River initiates, the headwater starts from the Ekwapim Mountains, actually. You know, so nestled somewhere beyond Ebri is where the Odaw River starts.
That's where it starts from.
Yes, and it descends down into the Abokobi area, coming down through Westlands, Hacho, and towards
Westlands.
Yes. So
there's a river that goes through there.
There's a drain.
Yes,
there's a big drain.
So you see, we call it drain now, but it's
actually a river.
We're supposed to have been a river.
We're referring. No, it is a river.
It is a river.
But you see, there was a policy that was driven by government some years ago to create embankments for river bodies.
Okay.
Because there's about 9 of such rivers that run through. This is the latest picture. We shouldn't start from here, please. Let's go to right from the beginning. All right. So from the Alajo side, this is right at the sea. This is the Korle Lagoon. We don't want to see this at this point. All right. So so the journey, the water starts from Ekwapim Hills through Abokobi, through Westlands, then Hacho, then comes down through the Odome Achimota area, and so a lot of people know it from the Achimota side, where you see the big storm drain, and then it goes down through Alajo, and then so this is the first image that we have here. Now this is where I began.
Oh, okay.
The picture tour from, all right, because it's a long river, right? It's about 30 kilometers long, all right, and so what you're seeing here is cattle that are being ranched
by the side,
by the river.
So basically the river is under it and they're just there. So
yes,
the dunk and everything goes
everything, all the excreta,
the dunk, everything.
Yes, and so you see, the first one we saw was on the left side. This one is on the right side, and they are ranched. They've set it up, and government has allowed this to happen.
Through the local assemblies.
Meanwhile, yes, through the local assemblies. Meanwhile, guess what? There are laws that say that between 20 to 50 meter buffer zones so there should be nothing within 20 meters of this water, right? And yet this is what we are seeing here. Nothing
so this
is supposed to be within 20 meters.
So this is the river,
and this is at the Alajo. This is Alajo.
The Alajo side.
This is Alajo side. The journey as we progress, you would see. Now look at this is a. Let's talk about the activities that are happening around.
Okay.
So we've seen the ranching, the cattle ranching that's going on there. We also see the mechanic shops. Now, many of these structures that are here are broken down.
Oh, this is not a bus stop.
No, it's a fitting shop. Yeah. So they will drain oil, they will drain dirty oil, they will, spare parts, all of those things. A lot of them end up in
the water.
Okay. So you can see what's happening here. Now, look at the silt that is on the side.
Yeah.
Okay, we missed that. But yes, this is still there,
But I'm wondering, since it's a river, that means they're supposed to be living organisms inside.
Yes.
Does this have fishes?
Obviously, because
it's a river. So rivers are meant to have
if a fisherman
organisms.
If a fisherman went to fish and they brought fish from this,
you wouldn't be happy.
Will you consume it?
But you don't know.
Do you know?
If I know,
but you don't.
Exactly. So you don't know.
Right.
That's serious, Kweku.
Yes.
Did you engage residents who are living in some of these?
No. Because this is really just letting the photos tell the story.
Wow.
Right.
And they actually do.
Yeah, the photos themselves tell the story. So you see the motorbikes that are there, a lot of them are broken down, they're all of them are under repairs. So we have motorcycle repairs, we have vulcanizers, we have cattle ranching, we have all kinds of things that are happening on right where there should be a buffer. There is no buffer. This really tells the story of the failure of urban planning and development and waste management.
Wow.
You know, look at the silt. Dude, look at this.
It's unimaginable.
It's meters of silt in a flowing river.
I can imagine.
Why wouldn't there be flooding in Accra?
Wow. We also know of the ongoing Greater Accra
Garrett.
The Garrett project, right? The Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project, which is a World Bank funded project aimed at effectively tackling, you know, urban flooding, and it is particularly for communities along the Odaw River. They did come up. Did you engage, you know, officials who are working as part of this project? Did they mention anything to you as part of the work they are doing?
No, but I saw elements of the project. So yes, so there's some in the Abofu area. There's part of it at Circle. You know, so I saw them huge projects that are going on. I think there's also one at the Palermo. Is it Paloma? The Paloma area.
Yes. You're going to Italy.
So yes, so there's that. But along the course that I took, I noticed the Abofu one, and then I also noticed the one at Circle itself. Yeah, the Circle one is the biggest of the lot.
We can clearly see the level of filth.
Yes, and the silt. For me, it's also the silt. It's not just filth. It's also the silt.
How about the stench?
Stench at this particular point, the stench wasn't that bad. Okay.
But what about when the cows
here the water still moves?
Okay.
Here the water still moves, right?
So the cows do not affect it?
Oh no, their dung will definitely go into it. So you're talking about pollutants in the moving water, which of course affects river life as well, right? And I remind you, people who are living by the banks of the river are supposed to be fending for their lives from river sources, right? That's why you go close to water bodies. You get it? Now, my issue with the silt is that, dude, we always say we are desilting. Have you not heard those words?
A lot of them.
That word being used, desilting. Oh yeah, it's the time. Rainy season is coming, so we are going to desilt. This Alajo problem here has been here for 10 years without moving. It has not gotten any better than this. So I don't know what desilting has gone on. You see, there's even worse ones when we get to the Korle Lagoon. So I think we can move the photos forward.
But while we're moving the photo forward, you know, sometimes when there's a lot of filth, the water just goes on a standstill.
Yes.
Is it what's happening here, or it keeps moving?
So here there's a lot of stagnation, but there's still enough space for some of the water to flow. Yeah, so a fair amount of it is flowing. Beyond this picture here, you know the other one that we saw with the large area of silting. Yeah. So that one, the water has to find its way, and it has found its way, and it still goes, right? I wish we could move on from this one to the next set of pictures, and then we can talk through what's happening there. Yeah, so you see the small bit of water that's here. So the water will pass on this left side.
So it's looking for directions to go.
Exactly, to go. Yeah. All right, we need to go beyond this point of pictures so that we can see what else is happening. Yeah.
Wow, Kweku,
yes.
You wanted to add something?
No, there's a lot more to add. I'm speaking to pictures, so I need to see the pictures to be able to show you. But beyond this point, we went to Aveno, and then in Aveno, but we can't show you the Aveno pictures yet. We went to Aveno and went through Aveno to Circle. Now at Circle, there were interesting scenes there. Now I will just paint a picture for you of the interesting scenes at Circle. What we did was we saw people who live on top of the Odaw River,
They live on the river.
They live on the river. Now let me explain how that works. So there are small bridges that cross the river at a point, right? And this is right at Circle. Okay, so the New Plant Station. There are rivers that cross, and so unfortunately we can't see the photos now, but
interesting.
There are bridges that cross. Now on the bridge, they've created housing So you know these we call them these the settlements that have developed around, let's say, like the
slums.
The slums. But you know the way they build them, they've built similar ones on these bridges.
Wow.
Yes. So honestly, I wish we could show you the photo, because the photos are there. Yeah. Wow. And they live on the bridge.
Yeah.
So you will see 10 to 20 different shacks that have been built on the bridges, and there are 2 of those bridges at Circle. Wow. And they live there.
Outside of this show, is there any way we can access these pictures? I know you're with Bernard early on the Point of View show. Yeah,
but the Point of View was talking about the Ayensu River.
The Ayensu River.
Yesterday I did CNR and started talking about the Odaw River as well. Yes, and there's a story I did on citynewsroom.com. You know, reviving the Korle Lagoon, because what you realize is that on the tail end of the Odaw River is the Korle Lagoon. So the Odaw feeds into the Korle, and the Korle then goes into the Atlantic Ocean. And right in there, at the exit of the lagoon, is a huge mound. You see the silt that is here? There's actually silt that if, Jude, you wanted to build a house in the middle of the Korle, you could build a house on it.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yes. It's that firm and that compact.
Let's get to Philip, who is currently stationed at the Odaw River, for updates.
By the way, it's Odaw.
Odaw.
Yes,
Odaw.
not Odaw. It's Odaw.
People even say Odawna.
Yes, but it's the Odawna.
So
Odaw.
So what's the difference between Odaw and the Odawna?
It's not a tree word. Okay. It's a Gan word.
It's a Gan word.
Yes.
So Odaw.
Odaw.
So the Odaw River.
Yes.
Interesting.
Odaw River. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time, David Kwekusechi, who is here with us at ChannelOne TV. But we'll join Philip, who is currently stationed at the Odaw River, as Kweku has rightly taught us the pronunciation, to give us some brief insights into, you know, the current state of affairs and the general conditions in the area. So good morning, Philip, and welcome to Breakfast Daily. Hello, Philip. Good morning.
Hi, Philip.
Good morning, Jude, and good morning to Chris Carter and also David Sechi. That was a good one there. Jude, can you hear me? I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, loud.
I'm sure you can also hear me.
Go ahead.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Go ahead.
And like I indicated, good morning to you and good morning to our viewers. Yes, I noticed you were saying Odaw or Odaw. You can take Odaw, we can take Odaw. It's still the river that has been polluted by activities of individuals, and also the battle that we've always been having here. Mind you, on Breakfast Daily on Wednesdays, we try and bring you sanitation focused stories for the government and stakeholders to notice how sanitation is encouraging. And like you indicated yourself and Chris Carter, today we are located here at the Odaw riverside that leads to the Korle Lagoon, and Kweku David has done justice to it. But I had the opportunity to visit this place with Samuel Atachia, who then was the Works and Housing Minister. I also came here with also Kojo Ponkruma, who also took over as the Works and Housing Minister. Francis Sobwachi, also Works and Housing Minister. Yet to see Kenneth AJ, who is the current Works and Housing Minister. I'm sure he may have been here also to assess the situation. A number of activities have been ongoing here by way of dredging to ensure that water that will flow upstream somewhere from Ebri down into the sea would be controlled here, so that we wouldn't see what we've been seeing here in the past. That is the sanitation situation. Fast forward, flooding that people of the Odawna have been witnessing in the past years. Mind you, there was the June 3 disaster, and according to reports, this particular river played a key role when it came to the June 3 disaster because of how choked it was. But maybe the cameraman want to pan and for us to check some of the tunnels. We can see that the tunnels are really blocked, and we do not know how water is going to flow from that side into the river. Also, though some sort of dredging has been done on this particular river, we can see that still People are dumping refuse in there, which is another challenge. Aside that, heaps of sand at the shoulders of this particular river, that you would be able to sit close to this particular drain or say river and enjoy yourself. The stench emanating from this place is really unbearable. But fortunately, we have a man that has seen it all, a man that has heard it all, a man that has been in this situation, in this community, and has seen the flooding situation, the dredging and all that. I'm talking about the assembly member for Odawna Sahara electoral area, who is Nobokina. So Odaw, you can join us. Let's have a brief conversation on what the situation is. But I can see silt all over. I can see refuse all over. I can see that all the various authorities, by way of dredging, are trying to put in some measures for the place to be clean, for us to protect lives and property when it comes to sanitation or maybe flooding situation in this country. But still, the river is not moving as it should, and I can see sand or silt in there, as well as rubbish. Tell us more about that. So you are the assembly member for this area. How is the situation like?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Now I can tell you the situation is a little bit better, because for the past, from June, we realized the place was silted up to somewhere near to the bridge. So we call in our MP, that is Honorable Zanato Ajima Rawlings, and we sent her the videos and the pictures of what is happening here. So immediately, as you were mentioning the ministers, all those ministers have been here by the same MP. She pulls them to see what is happening here. So around June, she did same, and they started working seriously on this area. And you can see the silt there because of that work, dredging. And now, when you look at the machine there, they are casting down the silt out of the place so that they can continue dredging. They do it as and when it's time for this area. But at the moment, they are around Caprice. Okay. They started from Caprice. But because this place was very huge, they had to cut down that area and come here. That is the reason why we had flood, but it was not that massive to destroy. But when you look at other areas, it was massive and things were destroyed. Also, for instance, like the Brookgate area, you saw what happened there. Now, my problem is we have a very bad situation. One is our attitude. That is Ghanaians, our attitude towards our river bodies. That is one thing that we should be mindful of, because you can't throw refuse in the gutter. And two, the accredited contractors around various communities.
So you mean the environmental service providers?
Yes.
The people who go around to pick refuse
various
from various
assemblies.
homes?
Yeah, various assemblies. I want to use assemblies because it's assemblies who control them, who gave them their contracts. So they also must be up and doing and making sure with the sanitation team, the environmental officers, to make sure everybody is assigned to make sure that their refuse is being carried by the contractors. Therefore, they will not throw their refuse away into the gutter. Okay. Then also the engineering. Well, as we are here, you can see the beam of this bridge. Okay. This is the railway bridge. You can see the beam. The beam is about 4 meters inside the drain or the river. Yes. And now this is about 4 meters into it. When it's full, it hits it and comes back to the community. So this bridge must be rebuilt and raise it up so that all the water can pass. And it's the same. We have 2 bridges, one here and the other one at the Gafugro Beyema junction there. So this is the main problem we are facing here, and I believe that this time authorities will take charge and make sure when we are done with this too, I'm sure the situation will calm down a little. Then there is another one too at Agbogboshi end. There's another bridge there. These 3 bridges, when it's full, instead of the water to go all the way to Korle and settle at Korle area, that is why Korle area is that vast land. so that when the water gets into the Korle and it's not able to enter into the sea, it settles there and move into the sea slowly. But when that place is blocked and these bridges block the water, it flows back into our communities and it destroys a lot of things. You need garages, there are a lot of people there, and they are mechanics. Yeah. The number
but it's also another big problem. Why do we have to get a lot of people along the river operating their businesses?
So Garrett Projects is taking care of this, but in fact, to be honest with you, the work is slow for me. The work is slow for me because most of the people here have been compensated, and so they have to, when they are working, I don't think the cars will be there. Those cars there will be moved, as if they come today, they will be moved out of the place because the land is there and there's nobody taking care of what is there, and there's no work going on. So they will definitely use it to the advantage.
Because just behind you is refuse, and people are burning them.
Some of these things happens in the night, and even we've managed to stop all of them, but at night you can't be here. There's no light. Somebody can snatch you with anything. You see, so you can't be here to check them 24/7. But then in the morning nobody can do this unless at night. That is what they do. And you know this because of the circular economy going on here. You see those parking the things, but there are some scrap. Those we call the janitors. Okay. They go and pick things like car tie, which they are metal in. The e-waste. Sometimes they put it together, then they bend and they remove the wires and the coppers and those things and sell it to the scrap dealers. So when they finish doing that and somebody is passing, he look left and right and he doesn't see anybody, then drops whatever is there on the floor.
Then from what you have indicated, we have a lot of work to do when it comes to protecting this river and also the Korle Lagoon.
Yes. So we have a community work dogs who also goes round, but you know it's volunteer, so sometimes we need to support them. That is what goes on here. Most of it comes from the mechanic area. They bring the guys to come and watch over until night, then they go home. But in the daytime you can't do this here, and so this is the problem we are facing. And I believe that once our president promised to make sure this work will go on. The last time he came around Circle, he told the contractor, please, this work must be done and must be done. But still, I believe it's slow. So I've reported it to my MP, and you know we are bereaved. So for now, we will finish the funeral and take work back to work again.
And before you take leave of us, just your final words, and how best do you think that people who stay upstream, because we understand that the situation also starts from upstream where people stay, dump refuse and also gets here, and also maybe activities up there also affects the Odaw River. Just share with us and your final words on that.
Yes. When you look at somewhere like the Ebri mountainous area, Ebri area, there has been a lot of development going on. Where do they cast? When they cast their concrete, erosion, when it rains, erosion, and that is why we see a lot of sand in the gutter, because all this sand comes from the upstream. And those who construct development going on everywhere, I don't see the reason why here only in Ghana that you have to buy sand in a tipper truck and come and dump it on the streets. Sand, stones in the tipper truck, come and dump it in the streets. But you must go to the stores and get it. When you know you are building and you need 300 bags of cement, you need 600 bags of sand, you need stones, the various type of stones, you need to go to the stores and get it into the car and take it to your site. But always in a tipper truck, they dump it on the street, and it's not good. That is one thing that contributes to the silt of the gutters. Then, like I told you, there are accredited companies who are supposed to go to various houses and pick their refuse must also do so. The circular economy guys, those who scrap dealers, and those who pick rubbers and plastics for recycling must all. That is the most reason why you cannot see a lot of plastic in town now. But when it rains, people's homes, they just dump, and that is what causes the problem. But you can see now, because of these people, the plastics and this thing has become few, except the black ones, which I believe one day it will be banned. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So that is Hendrik Nobokina, who is the assembly member for the Odawna Sahara electoral area, and he has told us a number of things that ideally should have been done. But he also mentioned the fact that the contractors, just recently we saw a demonstration by the environmental service providers members who were asking that at least the government should pay them monies owed them so that they can also go about their day-to-day activities. If that is done, it's also going to help. We know that Dredge Masters is in charge of this particular project. We know for sure that some form of work is ongoing, but the bigger problem is the attitudinal change, people dumping refuse into these drains and what happens upstream. Maybe by way of just citing an example, we were just looking at having this place to be a recreational facility according to the plan for the Odaw River and moving forward to the Korle Lagoon. And if you should visit some other countries, they've been able to do this, transformed it into places where people can sit by and at least enjoy themselves or have fun or be a recreational facility for them. But the situation is not same here. So like we are saying here, Jude and Chris, that is the situation here with the Odaw River that leads into the Korle Lagoon. But let me just take you to the other side briefly. You see that from what Kweku David was talking about the silt, we still have some silt there, and the assembly member made mention of the fact that if after the dredging is done and we do not have waste being taken out, of the shoulders of the drain or say the river, eventually it ends up into the river and it chokes it, and whenever it rains there is going to be that challenge where people would now have to be battling for their lives and will be moving away from their homes. And mind you, even at Odawna, if that situation should happen, you just notice that the mechanics there will now have to move their vehicles from that place and bring it to higher grounds. So that is a bigger problem that we are facing here at Odawna. But like it's been indicated, human activities is also contributing greatly to this particular situation, among other things. Let me engage this man who happens to be a resident here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're saying?
You're from Victor. Yeah, I'm a mechanic here.
You're a mechanic here. Tell us about the situation when it comes to the waste that normally is being dumped into this refuse, based on and also the fact that sometimes we would have to struggle in this area when it rains.
Yeah, I always a victim for this flood system. You see even the bridge, as our honorable said, the bridge is our bigger problem. Yeah, the bridge have to raise. If the flood comes, it can straight from here at least half kilometer from here to Old Timers, and we are suffering. There is very 9 feet, above 9 feet, very, very tall. So that is our problem. This bridge, the second one, and then the third one. So always, but last time we reported it to our MP, and they brought the engineer. So they came and you see the work they have done. So they have to collect the sand. When they put the sand on one side, and they leave it there. So you see that if the rain, it come back to the system. So now I saw that now they are collecting it day and night. Yeah. So always the under has to be clean, and the other side too. When you go to pass here to the other bridge too, that one to the same thing. So if the under the bridge is always free for the water to flow, then that means our problem at least.
But you are a mechanic here.
Yeah.
Why do you have some of your people dumping refuse into the river? And I can see a lot of rubbish here.
Please, all this is it's not from the garages, so it's from far away. If it rains and the water is flowing from the north down to this side, you stand here, you see that it's carrying a lot of rubbish. Then if you reach the bridge, then all the rubbish come down. So it's not coming from garages at all. All this, you see that fridges, TVs, and all those other things coming from the top. So it's not from the garages at all. From here, there's nothing coming. You see, we deal with the scraps, iron, and people buy it. So all these things coming from the other side, it's not from our side.
Thank you. Your name again?
Yeah. My name is Gabriel Victor Portofel.
Okay, Gilbert, thank you so much. So that is what Gilbert has also alluded to the fact that some of the refuse you can see here, and also what you can see in the river, it's not from people around this place. It's coming from upstream. So in case you live around that place, Ebri, you live around that Sherman area, you live around, say, places around the Delta where the river connects and all that, just have it at the back of your mind that every activity you do upstream affects us downstream, eventually results in the flooding that is often happens in this area, and also the city as well. So Chris and Jude, this is the situation here at the Odaw River. Though dredging exercise is ongoing by the dredge masters and other contractors, as has been indicated, activities of human is also contributing greatly to what we are seeing here. And if care is not taken, we may be witnessing a lot of flooding situations in this country, maybe as we are also experiencing climate change. We do not know when the next rain or when the next heavy rain will come.
Thank you so much for your time, Philip Nilate, who is our man on the ground, helping us, you know, to appreciate the issues better. Ordinarily, he would be in the seat, you know, interrogating the issues, asking the issues, but he's on the ground. The big man himself is on the ground. Chris, very distressing, you know. Very distressing,
very and very confusing at the same time. Confusing because I like the way the man explained their problem. You know, he bared it out that yes, they are suffering, especially when the rain comes and it starts flooding. But at the same time, it was ironic that he started to take themselves, the whole mechanic people or the people that fix the car out of the whole equation, that oh no, we are not the one making this mess. So at the end of the day, in as much as they are suffering, they are also throwing blame games on who's causing the filth at the same time. So I just feel like at this point, everything can be said and done, but at the end of the day, it's important to also involve the people. You can come and clean up the place. You can come and do whatever you are doing to the place. But if you don't involve the people around, it will still get dirty. There will still be filth everywhere. There will still be problems. I feel like in as much as we talk about this every Wednesday, there's supposed to be like a real national campaign.
So this is the thing, right? Like I said earlier on to Kweku David, there's the ongoing project, right? So it's the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development Project. Yeah. We call GARID for short. Headed by, I think, Dr. Nsafo and the team. And this is aimed at improving Accra's flood resilience and also solid waste management. Yeah. Now, this GARID project is funded by the World Bank. In fact, in 2020, post-COVID, an additional in excess of about $300 million, was given to them to support the work that they do. Now, this cuts across 17 municipal assemblies here in Ghana. Now, again, clearly you could tell that some work has been done. Right. I remember in the last parliament, it became very topical when the then minority, as you have them now, properly constituted as majority, raised issues around the slow pace of work and funding issues. Of course, we know how the domestic debt exchange program affected major government, infrastructural projects. Again, you listen to residents and they complain about the slow pace of work, and for me, it's particularly troubling because this project is a project that money had already been made available for. The allotment had already been done. The allocation had already been done. So I struggle to understand why we've not seen a very enhanced completion of all the major projects that we've been undertaking, like drainage expansion, drainage construction. In some areas where the road is bad, they had to settle off some of these illegal settlers, right? Pay them off and put in place the necessary measures in terms of expansion, in terms of it's troubling that 10 months down the line, and this project started many years ago. Yeah. But 10 months into this government, we've not seen concrete.
Nothing concrete.
That you could put your hands to. And trust me, these guys are doing a lot. So I struggle to understand where the problem really is, because it can't be a funding problem, right? Because you know that the funds had already been available for. So I don't know, or maybe it's just the lackadaisical attitude of the contractors and the engineers on site. Maybe.
Honestly, I don't even know who to blame, but like you said, the slow pace of everything just makes you question what's going on. And looking at their document here on what exactly they hope to achieve in everything, there's number 2 that says non-structural measures to improve flood warnings and preparedness. And with that, I feel like those are just basic campaigns. Non-structural, you're not building anything. You understand? It's about telling people. It's about campaigns. It's about going around door to door. Everybody do your own part. This has nothing to do with building anything. It's just about letting the people know. And it's just as basic as a campaign. How much will it cost?
So we're told that they were going to develop like some systems, an app to be able to be, I think the app was, if I recall correctly, was to help them like flood risks.
Yeah.
You know, all of that, we've not seen it. And in April this year, President Mahama raised concerns as to why the guide project had delayed in major parts of the, and this is, and again, for information purposes. Now, the guide project is not, even though the name suggests Greater Accra, it is only being done in areas along the Odaw River Basin.
Yeah.
You know, so like Agbogboshi, like West Lagoon, as Kweku said. There's another project in Achimota. So all community
that are interconnected.
Yes,
so
that's along
yeah.
the Odaw River Basin, you know, because that's supposed to be like a major drain. But we know the state of affairs there. If you go to Agbogboshi, for example, Kweku was talking about the cow ranches near in Agbogboshi. The cows are in.
Yeah.
You know, they are inside the drain. And I'm wondering, how is this even possible? So I think we need expedited action from the guide project, particularly the contractors. The team are doing a very good job. I mean, the PRO, probably sure is watching the show. Every single time he's calling, giving updates. But for some reason, the work doesn't reflect.
It's not translating.
Absolutely.
It's not translating to all the talks. It's not translating to everything that they say, everything out there. So we want to see it. Anyway, we have Mr. Ernest Morgan Aqua, who's the public relations manager for Zoom Lion Ghana Limited. Hi, Mr. Ernest. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Ernest Aqua. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Fine, thank you. You're welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you.
For purposes of information, are you speaking or joining us on this show as a sanitation advocate, or you are speaking in your capacity as the public relations officer for Zoom Lion Ghana? Just so you are clear.
Oh, as a sanitation advocate.
Right.
Are you an interested party in the ongoing guide project in terms of the solid waste management aspect of this?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So
and it's even extends beyond that. So as we talk, would put in the right lines.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's get straight into it. What are your thoughts on the situation happening around the Odaw River?
Okay. Thank you very much. And I think you spoke a lot about what is happening along the Odaw River. And we all know the efforts that has taken place in reshaping the Odaw River. But before we even consider the Odaw River, you see, there are some basic things that we have forgotten or closed our eyes on. And before anything, I think we need to handle the basic things before we start talking about how to reclaim the Odaw River. There are so many tributaries, there are so many people settling along the Odaw River. And let's find out if these people have a proper way of disposing their waste. So no matter what we will do, as we are talking about the silting, dredging, everything about the Odaw River, the pictorial evidence that they showed us some years ago, before we can get to that, let us do the right waste management practices. You understand?
Which is?
We had this Operation Clean Your Frontage. There are so many bylaws. Let's ask ourselves, how many households along the river or in Accra have bins to contain their waste? Talk of getting a right service provider to come and collect its waste. So if we don't solve this basic problem, whatever that we'll do, there are so many tributaries that people dump in it, people put garbage in it, then it falls into the Odaw River.
Right.
And that is the main problem that we need to tackle.
Right.
If not, we would have all the effort, we will get all the money to dredge, to do whatever about, but it will still be as worse as it is now.
Right. I really like the fact that you said that we should go back to the basics, and that's everybody having a bin and, you know, putting their waste in the bin. But at the end of the day, one will ask, is who is going to police this? Who is going to hold people accountable for this?
You see, in our local government bylaws, somebody is responsible for this. Somebody has the mandate to that. He has the power to prosecute. And that is the environmental health officers. Those days we had the tankers, town council, we call it tankers, you know, town council people. When you hear them coming to your house, you start running and putting things in place.
Right.
What happened to the town council? And they are the people who have the power. They have the legal right to prosecute. So how many people along these stretches have they prosecuted? How many have they gone? Where have they gone to check whether they are doing the right thing in respect to sanitation? It is not happening.
Interesting.
But the power has been given to somebody. Somebody is, excuse my language, somebody is paid to ensure that this is done, and it is not done.
Mr. Morgan, we know that as urbanization intensified in the 60s, the issues around the condition of the Odaw River, you know, started getting worse. And by the 80s, it had significantly deteriorated. Now, if you come as far back as 1997, I remember there was a project by government, you know, titled the Korle Lagoon, I think, reclamation project. Up until, from then up until now, we can't seem to have a grip in terms of reclaiming the Odaw River. So my question is, successive governments have tried different kinds of projects, different names aimed at the same purpose, but for some reason we've not really yielded the necessary returns or the success story we've all wanted. So what could be done differently? What should be the approach? What is the missing link? Can you tidy it all up for us?
Yes, so the missing link now, as I said earlier, is going to the basics. Let's tackle it from the base. When we tackle it from the base, ensuring that people around that enclave are disposing their waste well, then we would have a good story to tell. And as you mentioned, urbanization. Now the number of people, the population around Accra has quadrupled, and every human being produces waste. And when they produce the waste, they have to dispose it. But the question is, are they disposing it well? And that is where we have to look at. The number of people settling in Accra, it will be difficult for us to do something about it. You understand? But let us get the right waste management systems in place. Let everybody come on board, and let us do the right thing before we will talk about. You see, when you can look at the population in the European countries, they are more than us. When you go to Netherlands, their water, their rivers, their lagoons are very clear. They are more than us. So why is it that when you go to Netherlands and you see the rivers and the lakes, lagoons, they are not as dirty as you find in Ghana?
Interesting.
It is because we have closed our eyes on the basic things that we need to do. And we are always shouting on the external things that are difficult for us to do. And we pump in so much money. But at the end of the day, there is no results.
All right. So what do you think are the impacts of the crude dumping on the Odaw River and, of course, the Korle Lagoon?
The impact, you see, we people are, let me say this, people are dying. But because it is not measured, we are not putting in that necessary necessary touch to it. People are still fishing from the lagoon. People are using the water for some domestic things. Aside that, the pollution, the air pollution, the water pollution, it is causing so much havoc even in the main Gulf of Guinea, the main sea, because it travels all the way to the sea. I always say that if not for the fact that there's so much salt in the sea, probably all the fishes in the sea would have been dead by now.
Sure.
Interesting.
So the impact is great. And now we are not even getting any. If we had treated this thing well and we have a proper Odaw, it could have attracted income for the country.
Wow.
Now we can't send any tourists to that sector, that side, to have any, let me say, funds for tourism.
Interesting.
So we are losing big time.
I have a 2-in-1 question for you, and I hope you are able to provide some useful responses for us. So, number one, I want to find out from you the role of the municipal assemblies in this sanitation conversation we are having. And you talk about how this is also negatively affecting the tourism potential of this country. In the previous government, we had a ministry purposely for sanitation. Now we don't have such a ministry, but we have the Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources. Natural resources also being our water bodies. There's a Ministry for Tourism, like you rightly said. There's also a Ministry for Environment, right? Because sanitation is basically the environment. Which of these ministries will you say is largely responsible for the sanitation problem we have in the country, and what should they be seen to be doing to rectify?
You see, my brother, the ministries are so many. That is not the problem. When you get to every MMDA, every municipal or district assembly, all these ministries should have departments there that report straight to the municipal chief executive. Because some of the works that we are doing, or some of the works of the ministries, they are interwoven. You see, some would lap on the other. So if we have Ministry of Sanitation, it was confused with Ministry of Local Government, and the MCE might think that he reports to the local government minister. So then the sanitation minister sometimes has to push her way before what he wants to do is done. That shouldn't be the problem. They all report to the Ministry of Local Government. That is fine. But if what you are doing is in line with environment, ensure that it is done well. Because the MCE shouldn't be for Ministry for Environment or Ministry of Health for Health or Ministry for Tourism. All of them are supposed to be in one, and ensure that the various departments under them in the various assemblies see to it that the various disciplines are handled well.
Interesting.
At the moment we segregate them, then somebody will tell you that this is not my work. Meanwhile, it is affecting the work that you have to do.
All right.
Finally, will you say the regional ministries, right? So, for example, Greater Accra, Ashanti region, will you say they also have a role? Because a lot of the time they go under the radar, but a lot happens with the assemblies. So, whilst the Environment Ministry is working to address this, will you say largely the regional ministers too ought to take a portion of the blame?
Yes, I wouldn't miss words on that. Yes, because the MMDAs that I mentioned, they all report to the regional minister. So the various ministries have to line straight with the regional ministers, and they have to ensure that the various things are done on the ground. But if you have Minister for Tourism going directly to the municipal assembly, then they take the regional department out, the regional minister out of the equation, which is wrong. They should rather channel whatever they want to do to the regional office and ensure that it trickles down. And every department, every ministry has to work.
Wow.
All right.
And the MCs are there for all the various ministries, not for only one ministry. We should start from the basics and work on these things. If not, we would always talk about this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Aqua. It was really nice having you on this conversation, and thank you for clearing things up and also sharing your thoughts on, you know, the sanitation problem that we are facing, especially with the Odaw River.
I wanted to buy coconut, and I told the coconut seller to, you know,
cut it.
See, you know, sort me out, get me one. It's like, he said, boss, me buy white. It's like, this guy. Then he went to the back there. He went to do his own thing. I showed it to pee, you know, and he came back. No sanitizer, no water. Just went back to hold the coconut.
You just told him, no, it's okay.
I'm like, you know what? I've just realized I'm fasting, so it's okay. You know, and again, you know, a lot of interventions have been done. You know, when it comes to like the wash sector, so water, sanitation, hygiene, like so much has been done, but as much as we do, we are still far behind. You know, we should have been talking about placing like easy washing, you know, and COVID, despite its
COVID really showed us how important it is, but then again, we are as human beings.
So for a very serious country, right? When COVID struck,
we should have been stuck to the
so beyond even just like adapting the soft aspect of the positives COVID taught us, hand washing, you know,
running water,
clean water, so all of those things, personal hygiene. It should have also, as a country, taught us that, see, we need to take issues around sanitation and hygiene very serious, because we will not survive a public health crisis. Thankfully, I think, see, our survival of COVID, and I say that with utmost respect to families that lost their loved ones, you know, but as a country, the kind of effects it had on us compared to other countries, I think it was divine. Because if you had seen the
thanks to our climate.
So that is the divinity coming in. God, through his own wisdom, you know, in the creation story, gave us this climate. Because we wouldn't have been able to survive the way we saw other countries, you know, have their systems run out. So the point is that every serious country would have learnt from this setback. See, in the UK, there was, I think, the Halisbury disaster in a stadium. There and then they passed laws on safety checks, on security concerns at public grounds. That is how functional countries, you know, operate. So COVID happened, we couldn't bother.
We washed our hand then. And
children, cholera outbreak. One community, 20 people die. We are still going as business. Nothing changes. So for me, it's worrying that it's like we are not making progress. You know, then we'll appoint a minister to then challenge. She's keeping 1 million. They come and help us address sanitation problems in the country. They are keeping $1 million under your bed. Then that one has become a whole. I don't want to go there, but Chris, let's be real to the facts. You know, and that one too will become a whole discussion. Then for like
then we forget
3 months, she's not even like focusing on the job.
Working.
And also, the problems are enormous. And for me, I don't know. Your place, is it clean? Your area, no?
Well, it's developing.
East Lagoon Hills.
Well, my area, like my access is developing, so yeah, it's still neat.
Charlie, you can see some refuse down there.
Until people come inside, but for now, it's just a few of us, so
yeah,
it's okay.
I think your side, Nana Chrome, East Legon is relatively
calm. we are okay.
Charlie,
until all of you start moving over.
You can see something in Kaneshi, you'll have to just start booting fast.
But anyway, it was very important that we had this conversation.